Hello students, I am back for one more video of Applied English. You might wonder, now what is Applied English? Definitely students, this is the global language, this is the global one, and everyone requires English language. You know that you come across a lot of things in your day-to-day life, and without English language you are helpless, and that's the reason that we are going to apply English in our day-to-day life. In this language also we have total 4 skills, as you know we usually have, that is listening, reading, writing and speaking. So we are going to focus on only listening skill. In my previous video students, I have given a lot of tips and strategies on listening. Here also I am going to give some tips and strategies of applied English. You know that English is the language, and whenever you come across any language, there are 4 modules or there are 4 skills. That is listening, reading, writing and speaking. You go to anywhere, whether you go to a restaurant, whether you go to a bus stop, whether you go to railway station or market, you need or you come across everywhere only the language that is English. And that's the reason we have applied applied English, or it's a language. Students, in my previous video I have given an assessment task for you, and I told you to do listening part 1 and part 2, and here I am going to give a doubt solving video, and it is video number 9, and it is Saraswati Shishukunj-Borsad. Students, the previous video I have given a lot of tips and strategies, and after my video I have given the task to do part 1 and part 2 listening, and I have taken any one of the parts here, and we are going to do doubt solving, so it is mainly doubt solving video. Okay, students, I have written some questions over here, and I am going to play one audio that you have already listened to it in the previous, but we are going to have doubt solving. So I am going to do listening along with you. You are going to do listening for the second time, and I am going to do for the first time. And after that, we will discuss what answer is supposed to be. And without delay, let's come to the point and start listening. Students, you are going to do listening for the second time, and I will also do, but I will write my answers on the board, and then we will come up again and we will discuss about the answers. Students, start listening.
The test is in 4 parts: Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, and Part 4. Now look at Part 1.
Part 1.
You will hear a woman being interviewed by a market researcher in a health club about her membership of the club. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Oh, excuse me. I wonder if you'd have the time to take part in some market research.
What's it about?
About this club and your experiences and opinions about being a member. It'll take less than 5 minutes.
Oh, okay then, as long as it's quick.
Can I start by taking your name?
It's Selina Thompson.
Is that Thompson?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks. And what do you do for a living?
Well, I'm an accountant, but I'm between jobs at the moment.
I understand. But that's the job I'll put down on the form. And would you mind my asking which age group you fall into? Below 30, 31 to 50, and above?
Over 50, I think we can safely say.
Great, thanks. And which type of membership do you have?
Sorry, I'm not sure what you mean. Do you mean how long of...
No, is it a single-person membership?
Oh, right, no, it's a family membership.
Thanks. And how long have you been a member?
Ooh, let me see. I was certainly here 5 years ago, and it was probably 2 to 3 years more than that.
Mm-hmm. Shall I put down 8?
Oh, I remember now. It's 9, definitely. Sorry.
No problem. I've got that. And the last question in this first part is, what brought you to the club?
Sorry?
How did you find out about the club? Did you see any ads?
Well, I did, actually. But I have to say I wasn't really attracted to the club because of that. It was through word of mouth.
So you were recommended by a friend?
Actually, my doctor. I'd been suffering from high blood pressure, and he said the club was very supportive of people with that condition, so I signed up.
Great, thanks.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 6 to 10.
Now, for the second part of the form, I want to ask a bit more about your experience of the club.
Sure.
How often would you say you use the club?
It varies enormously, depending on how busy I am.
Of course. But on average, per month?
I'd say it averages out at twice a week.
OK, so 8 on average.
Yeah, and 4 of those are aqua aerobics classes.
That leads me to the next question. Would you say the swimming pool is the facility you make most use of?
Fair to say that, yep.
Right, thanks. And are there any facilities you don't use?
One area I realise I've never used is the tennis courts. And there's one simple reason for that.
You don't play tennis?
Actually, I'm not bad at it.
Oh.
It's that I'm not happy having to pay extra for that privilege.
Oh, right. I've made a note of that. Thanks. Now, in the last section, are there any suggestions or recommendations you have for improvements to the club?
Only about health and fitness?
Anything at all?
Well, I'd like to see more social events. It isn't just a question of getting together for games or classes, but other things, you know.
Yes, sure.
And another thing that I was thinking, when I had my yoga class in the gym last night, we were all sweltering in the heat, was that I think they should put in, well, you know...
air conditioning.
That's exactly what I mean. The rooms are really light and well designed, but they do need proper installations.
Sure. Well, I've made a note of that.
Good.
So, is there anything else you'd like to suggest? About quality of service, for example?
Oh, everyone's very nice here. They couldn't be more friendly and helpful. Oh, but I tell you what, it's a shame the restaurant isn't open in the evening on Saturday, and Sunday as well, for that matter.
So the club should...
open it later on those days.
OK. Well, thank you very much. That's all the questions I have.
That is the end of part 1.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
I have done my listening and I hope you have done your listening. I have written down all question answers over here on the board, and I hope that you have written down as well. Students, I have given a lot of tips and strategies in my previous video. I always say that you need to keep in mind the instructions, no more than 2 words or a number. So before you start any listening, what you need to do? You need to follow the instructions, read the instructions, listen to the instructions, and read as well where the instructions is given in your booklet. Okay students, now I have written 5 questions over here, and it is a conversation, it is an interview. A woman is being interviewed by a market research, and you know, when you have listened to the conversation, you come to know that what type of questions are there. Okay, the first questions about occupation and account. Okay, a market research person asks an old lady, what do you do for a living? Have you heard the conversation? Have you listened to it very carefully? It is occupation. Now students, what you need to understand, it is not only the word that they have used in the listening, but what word they use. What do you do for living? I write down here, what do you do for living? Now, living and occupation, yes, it is a synonym word. So in listening, always you need to understand that there are a lot of synonyms that you can come across. So if you search for the word occupation, you will not get, but you need to search for the synonym words. So what do you do for living? What do you do? So it is, the lady is an accountant. Now I have written here article and account. So if you have written an account, your answer is correct. If you have written only account or an account, then also correct. Okay, let's move to the second question, student. Age group. Now here, the market research person asks an old lady, how old are you? And you know what the lady replies? There are a lot of options given by the market research person, and the lady says, I am over 50. Okay, so what is the answer? Over 50. Now, students, there are a lot of options are given, but what you need to understand, you need to listen the keyword. That is, you need to listen. Don't write your answers in hurry, but you need to write the answer after you complete the option. After giving all 3 options, you need to write down the correct one. So it is over 50. Okay, let's move. Type of membership. You know the type of membership. So it is a type of membership. And in this, what type of membership do you have? Who asks? The market research person asks, what type of membership do you have? So it is, the lady replies, it is a family membership. So the whole word she says, but you need to write only family or membership. And that's the reason that I have written in the bracket. So if you have written any one of them, then correct? No. If you have written only membership, then okay, you might. But if you write family and if you have written whole word, then it is correct. Don't write only membership, but you need to write family. So family is the key word. If you have written only membership, then your answer is wrong. But what you need to do, you need to write only family, then correct. But if you write only membership, then your answer is wrong. But if you have written whole word, family membership, so it is a one word or 2 word. Here it is not more than 2 words. So it is word 1 and this is 2. Your answer is correct. Okay, let's move. Length of membership. Okay, length of membership means how long have you been a member? Who asks? The market research person asks an old lady, how long have you been a member in the particular? So length of membership, she says 9. No, directly she does not say. If you have listened very carefully, it is 6 to 7, and again that old lady says, no, I have got it. It is 9. So in the beginning, she was not sure about the how many long years she passed. But finally, after saying, she says yes, many years. But in the beginning she gets confused. So don't try to answer in hurry, but pay attention, listen very carefully and get the correct answer. Okay. Now, what joint recommended by? Okay. How the lady was recommended by? By whom? Was there any particular person? So the lady says, why joint recommended by a doctor? Who recommended? A doctor recommended her to join the membership. So this is all about 5 questions that we have discussed, we have solved, students, and always keep in mind, you need to listen to it attentively, then only you are going to get. But sometimes they make you confused, but you don't have to write your answers too quickly, because when you write your answers too quickly, you will not get, and you will get the correct answer for the second time, and they just make you confused, and they say sorry, this is not the correct one. Then again you get the answer that you need to write down. But it does not happen every time. But you need to do attention and do it listening very carefully. Okay, students. Now I am going to write down the rest of 5 questions. Only part 1 we are going to discuss. I have written only 5 questions. Some more questions that I will write down. We have finished discussing of 5 questions, and as I told you that we are going to discuss some more 5 questions. I have already written my answers over here, and just you can check your answers. Let us come and discuss about the points and questions. Okay. We have finished 5. Let's move. Facility used most. You know what are the facilities that mostly used? That is called swimming pool. And the lady says yes, it is swimming pool, and tennis court because reluctant to pay extra money. When she was being interviewed, and she was very reluctant to pay extra money. Now, student, what is the meaning of reluctant? Reluctant means something that a person want to hesitate. That is called reluctant. Okay. Tennis court because reluctant to pay extra money. If it is infinitive, see, always keep in mind, there is a main verb. So grammar also plays a role in listening. So it is to, and after to what comes? After to comes main verb. So your answer is pay extra. What? Extra money. But you don't have to write the word money. You need to write only pay extra. Why? Because when you write the word money, it is clearly mentioned in the conversation to pay extra money. But can you write money? No. When you write money, what happens? Your answer becomes 3 words. And are you going to write 3 words? No. Why? Because you need to pay attention on the instruction as well. Okay. Have more social events. If you have heard very carefully, it is clearly said that it is a social events. And students, if you have observed, listening, whenever there is answer that you get, there is a lot of stress. Have you noticed? Yes, I have noticed. And next time when you do listening, you too notice. Okay, let's move. Install. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, put in. What is the synonym? I have got put in. Now, put in and install, it is the same meaning. So, what word? It is a synonym. So, in applied English, what you need to keep in mind, the synonym words are being used. So, install and put in. They have not used the word install. What word they have used? They have used the word put in. To put in air conditioning in the gym. So, if you search for the word install, you will not get. But what word they have used? Is put in. Okay. The restaurants later at weekends. Now, students, one more thing that grammar plays role here. What? See here, plural. It is restaurants, not restaurant. Okay. So if you have written the restaurant, your answer is wrong. Yes, absolutely, your answer is wrong. What you need to write? Always need to pay attention. Singular and plural. Singular and plural. So, this is all about 10 questions that we have solved. of applied English. And students, I hope you have understood all 10 questions that we have cleared all your doubts. Students, after my video, I am going to give you one more task of applied English listening. And I am going to give you part 1 and part 2. Just follow these instructions, follow this, and definitely you will get good band. Okay, students.
2, Part 3, and Part 4. Now look at Part 1.
Part 1.
You will hear a conversation between a visa officer and an applicant. You have 30 seconds to read the questions first.
First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Good morning, Visa Office. How can I help you?
Good morning. I'd like to apply for a visa to Australia, please.
Certainly, sir. I'll just get a form and then I'll need to take some details down. OK, here we go. Right. Can I have your name, please?
Yes, it's Akamora. Kelly Akamora.
How do you spell that, please?
K-E-double-L...
No, your family name, please.
Oh, sorry. It's O-K-A-M-U-R-A.
O-K-A-M-U-R-A. And your address?
Apartment 106, Kingston Street, Hawaii.
Kingston Street, Hawaii.
Yes, that's correct.
So you're an American?
Actually, I was born in Japan, but moved to Hawaii 6 years ago.
And can I have your age, please, Mr. Okamura?
I'm 32.
Are you married?
Yes, I am. My wife's Chinese.
And will your wife accompany you to Australia?
Yes, she will.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 6 to 10.
And will your wife accompany you to Australia?
Yes, she will. In fact, that's the reason we want to go. Her sister lives in Sydney.
And do you have any relatives living in Australia?
I used to have an uncle, but he died several years ago. Now there's only my sister-in-law and my wife's cousin.
So the purpose of your trip is to visit your wife's relatives, am I correct?
Well, not exactly. Mainly because I have my own trading company and I will be looking for business opportunities. Although I do want to do some travelling as well. You know, see some of the sights, that sort of thing. Although I don't intend to work in Australia.
And your wife? What will she be doing?
She'll be studying English. She wants a student visa.
And how long do you plan to stay?
About 1 year, I guess.
Well, I'm afraid a standard tourist visa is only valid for 30 days, although in your case, we can issue you with a business visa. Business visas last for 6 months, but you will be able to renew it. We can give your wife a 12-month visa, though.
6 months is okay, so what do I need to do now?
Come along to the office any time during weekdays, but it must be office hours. We close at 5:30. And bring along 2 passport-sized photos, and your passport, of course. Your wife will also need 2 photos, so that's 4 passport-sized photos in total.
Okay, thank you for your help. Bye.
Bye.
That is the end of Part 1.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.